Okay, let's give this a try. We're Sunday, September the, oh fuck. I don't know. September the something. And that's Manism in the background. He's just gonna play us a little tune. And I'll put a link on screen here. There we go, the clouds are cooperating. Yeah, so I think it's Sunday, September the 7th, now that I think about it. Let's just see if we can... 1289 is off to the side and just getting ready to fire off a Class X. However, it should be out of Earth's direction. So we should be okay on that. Unlike Sunspot Group 1295, and there's two others around it, 1295 is currently sitting at... I think it was about a 68% chance of an M and about a 48% of a Class X flare. And it's just moving into the Earth-directed sights. Okay, let's see if we can... So it's about in the middle of the sun, slightly north. Let's see if we can pick her up. I have to excuse this piece of shit fucking tripod. Okay, I'm gonna change the settings here on the camera and see if that helps at all. And this is number 9 welder's glass at 200x. I'm thinking not. Okay, we'll take her down a bit. We can at least watch the whole thing. And there is quite a network of coronal filaments developing, which indicates some extreme instability underneath the photosphere. That was a tree branch, I think, or a blade of grass or something that kind of got in the way. Ah, there you go. Let's go back to Earth. Get you a little closer into manisms. Pleasant background tune. Sorry, no chemtrail report. So hey, I think this would be a good time to just reiterate what I sent out yesterday. So you guys want to sell your blimp technology and replace the chemtrailers. This sounds good, providing there's enough disclosure that the public can make an informed consent. Because the shit you're putting up there, the moderators, which combinations apparently of boron and aluminum and perhaps a few others at times. There's no need to spray them all over to keep the cosmic ray particle inclusions from, I'll use this term loosely, microwaving the lithosphere, in particular the highly reactive and highly radioactive regions where the magma plumes are coming up, such as Yellowstone Park. Okay, all we have to do get our science down, pinpoint when we actually can have an effect by, you know, putting a layer between us and the ionosphere and the ground and the region of concern, the magma swelling. Okay, so we're not, if we can block a good portion of the cosmic ray and particles that especially come when there's a big ionic hole from ionic heating, there's your shield gone, so you got nothing to replace it. It's just like turning your microwave oven up high instead of on defrost. And it's never the surface that heats, it's below. But more importantly than that, because you're dealing with cosmic ray particles, very energetic particles and electrons and subparticles, they do just like in your nuclear reactors, okay? If there's fissionable material there, they spark it up. Just like you assemble your uranium oxides in your reactors, or your plutoniums, depending what it is, or maybe both, or your thoriums or whatever, into critical masses to where they start feeding each other with neutron bombardment, and then it gets a lot hotter, or worse yet, goes critical like an atomic bomb. Okay. The overall effect is more heat, more pressure in the magma chambers that are swelling up through the lithosphere, the thing we stand on, and then they get up to where they can do more reacting and pressure releases, and you get these catastrophic explosions that cause, yes, mass extinctions. There's no argument there. No fucking argument in science anymore. Proven beyond fucking doubt, so why is the information being covertly withheld from the public? Every attempt from clowns like me to disclose it to the public so they can become informed responsible citizens and empower you and say, no, 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 my money's not going to invade Syria for some other prick's gain. My money is going to saving North America from the next very close at hand extinction event from Yellowstone or in Iceland, or there's many locations. Okay, yeah, the Earth needs some volcanism because that rebuilds. It replenishes everything, not just the atmosphere, the stratosphere, the ionosphere, with all the gas and particles it shoots up, which is a thing that can be done in an emergency if there's mass cosmic inclusions. The heliosphere is ripped away by a supernova ejection, by the energy, by the supernova dust, and now you got, just like I said about a hole in the ionosphere, well, now you got a huge one. The first line of defense from this shit is interstellar boundary layer of the heliosphere. Okay, it's can be said it serves similar function to what our magnetosphere and everything trapped within does. Holy comforter, okay? To put it in your old books ways that you were supposed to learn and be brought forward and know about all this shit. So come this time, you could do something about it and not go extinct like my folks did. So, the planes are too expensive. I mean, great, okay, so here in BC, our carbon tax went to propping up the fictitious airline industry. Here's all these surplus planes and everybody going bankrupt. Okay, we gave you 3 years. You were allowed to do your chemtrail, and you piddled around. You tried to create markets in a totally ignorant manner of all the liabilities you're incurring when you're dumping this shit without consent or authority from the masses or the private landowners and crop owners underneath that are having to deal with the fallout. You may not even have known, most of you, you're so compartmentalized of what you were doing. Maybe you thought you were weather modifying to make deluges in one part of the country and droughts in the other, or whatever. And sometimes, I'm sure it's feasible. That's what chemtrailing has been about. Certainly as early as the Vietnam War. Proven, confessed, documented fact by the people that were doing it. So don't fucking argue with me that this stuff doesn't exist any more than modern day chemtrailing for weather modifications, terrestrial weather modifications like steering that hurricane or ending that drought or stealing the water from someone else as they have a drought and your market prices for your crops go up. Don't fucking tell me it doesn't happen. Absolute fucking fact. You're a fucking fool and you know nothing. Go research before you open your fucking mouth. Absolute fucking confirmed, admitted, documented, money-trailed fact. So, now you got the blimps. They developed the technology, they're kind of perfecting it, they need an excuse. We don't need to do this fucking carbon mitigation fucking nonsense that's been proposed, okay? You want to stick some of these blimps, here's how you're going to get the funding. You're going to stick them over critical areas. We'll just concentrate on Yellowstone Park. Yeah, Yellowstone Caldera. There's lots of them around the earth. After cost-effective study and some experimenting and learning what we're doing, will this cause mass devastation if we let her go on its own and be catalyzed into a catastrophic release by cosmic weather influences? No? Okay, well, don't worry about it, because the ecosphere, the life matrix of my Earth needs that. It's always had it, it's always dependent on it, and it is reactive to this kind of inclement interstellar and stellar space weather. The sun puts out these two in mass during coronal mass ejections, and if there's mass holy comforter of disturbances on Earth, it goes right in. Okay, so that's twice I've covered it now in this episode. Blimp, maybe 2 or 3 or whatever around the caldera area to strategically catch what's coming in. Okay, and you tether it with a hose just like this recent idea of using blimps just for that reason. Okay, so you've already prototyped all this. You're looking for a way to fund it, make it useful. Okay, we can put up temporary shields when space weather calls for it around these hot areas. Okay, we don't need to put no more carbon tax on. Here's what's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna fucking come clean. As I fucking told you before you got into office, Barry Soetoro, that's your renewable energy source. You gotta do just like Iceland did. You're gonna hire them as consultants, as experts. They're gonna rebuild your industries around this, and you're gonna mine that surplus heat and help recool the top of the crust, whatever is economically feasible. That heat you're gonna make thermal steam to generate electricity, just like you do with the deadly reactors. If the cost analysis is there, you're going to use it to make all kinds of hydrogen fuel when peak demand is low, and you're going to use the existing gas pipe work if it's feasible to ship that hydrogen to markets, whether it's for putting in your automobile. And they do have very effective hydrogen cells now, hydrogen storage tanks. They're super, super fucking safe. Basically metallic hydrogen. You can use this shit for all kinds of industrial processes because it's now in the natural gas pipeline network, or build another fucking network if that's not feasible. So you can start using it for fleet vehicles, and they charge up at night. You can start using it for industrial heat applications that now use natural gas or propane. Some of them. You can use it for heating up here in the north. There you go. Pays for itself and eventually makes a market. How are you going to raise this fucking money, Yankees? Because you're broke? And this can be done in Canada too. There's clearly some concerns, if I'm to read between the lines of, well, why are you chem spraying today? There's no radiation, Fukushima radiological fallout coming in, so you're not creating rainstorms in preferred locations to basically drop the bulk of the radiation out in non-populated areas. So clearly you're expanding on this to use up budget and piece your buddies off that have bought at least too many aircraft and converted them to chem sprayers. None of that can be funded. It's not sustainable. You don't need carbon tax to pay for this. What you need to sell energy bonds after a full disclosure of what this is to the public. They need somewhere real to put their money, because the little bit of value that they can still pull out of these fake fucking stock hollow pyramid scams, they want to put it somewhere to grow. They're too greedy to become their neighbor's banker or whatever and carry a mortgage on a rent-to-own deal or whatever to their children or whatever. Okay, no problem. You're hooked on this fucking fictitious nonsense of building stocks. Then do it right, do it real, do it fully disclosed and accountable so this hollow pyramid building scam can't get going again. Sell energy bonds. Okay, there you go. You can build up this, and within 10 years or less, if it's not as usual botched up, you can start paying dividends on those energy bonds. by selling the electricity through the power grid, by selling the surplus hydrogen during non-peak times. This is not brain science. I gave all this fucking stuff to you, fucking Obama, you cocksmoker. And quickly it was passed to your fucking lackeys that have one fucking goal and one goal in mind entirely. They're global Zionist nonsense. Sabotage everything so you can buy it up for a penny on the $1,000. Those fuckers have to be gone, out of the picture. Whether or not they told you this or not, I don't care. That's your problem. You're a clown. They're clowns. You're criminals. Need I say more? The term global Zionist pretty well sums it all up, because it honestly describes the syndication that you follow for causes not in the public's interest, not in keeping with sustainability or peace. You're not a great deceiver. You're a bunch of clowns. There is no such thing as Barack Obama. That's obvious. That's like a corporate name for this theater troupe of shysters and criminals that the global Zionist syndicate has installed in there. You fuckers, you with your tax dollar. What are you gonna do about it? You're all culpable.